We're now working on the 12th month. This proved to be a little challenging, but figured it out. I'm just using the tick marks to measure the page and cut a page similar to the flap size. So of course that will be different no matter what size you made your book. Just the pencil mark just makes the whole process easier. See that metal ruler there? I can't find my Tim Holtz ruler. It's killing me. I've torn this room up 3 times looking for it. I don't know what happened. But a new one is supposed to be coming from Amazon. I finally just gave up. It's $10. Why fight myself? Okay, so erasing the tick marks. And just going to paper clip this on just to kind of hold it in place. I figured this is the easiest method. Just to trace around it. So, yeah, I'm just going to cut it out with the metal ruler, not my favorite, and my knife, which is awesome. So I had trouble lining the die up and getting it to hit perfectly. I didn't find a good way to do that. If anybody knows that, please fill me in. But I'm just going to go around and cut it out with a little knife. It comes out really easily. And just glue it on there after, clean it up. Feels good to get back at this. I was away in North Carolina for the weekend, seeing my friends and seeing my dad. Oh, I'm going to sneak in a picture at the end. It just filled my heart with goodness. He's 89 and he's so lonely, so lonely. My mom passed 2.5 years ago, so yeah. It was a great, quick visit, and he loved seeing me and my friends. He just lit up like a Christmas tree. All right, so just going to glue this on, and you can see it looks like it goes down perfectly. But here, maybe it's me and no, it's not persnickety. It's just wanting to do it right. That's what it is. So I used a little Kleenex or whatever that was just to help clean it up. And then I could see when I turned it over, yeah, you can see a little bit of it. So what do? Just pull out the knife. If you're very careful and you go at a little bit of a slant, you can use the side of the paper to be your guide. And I just trimmed off those little pieces and made me much happier. So you had to go slow. Remember, this is fast forwarded, so go slow and carefully. And it works really, really well. Okay, we are going to dive into the next part, which is making a little tip in that's so cute. It is so cute. I say that with remorse. The ruler there is just to give me a vertical guide so I'd know where to pick a line. Remorse because I have to undo and redo all of this. You'll see that. But I'm steadily working ahead here, not aware of the mistake I'm making. I'm going to cut this down. I just wanted it to fit the little guy. So I'm going to cut the height to be right. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to cut the flap. It looks like a little book, but it's going to come just a little 1/2 inch flap so that I can tip this in on the page. So, yeah, there it is. Do you guys see the problem? Do you see the problem? And here I set it on there and I think, oh, you know what? I could make this cuter. So I go even deeper into my mistakes, but it's okay. I pulled out my die cutter and I decided to put a scalloped edge on the top of the die, or the top of the flap. The little, any edge. If you used a pair of scissors, scalloped scissors, a punch, any scalloped die, it just adds character, and character is a good thing in an album. It just adds to it. So I'm going to run this through, and if you guys are not aware of the problem yet, yeah, I worked on the page sideways. And I think I told you guys, always know where your side openings are. Always check, always check. Yeah, if you do this long enough, your number will come up, and you're going to have to know how to undo what you did. So for that reason, I decided to just leave this in. We can just laugh along as I continue on, still completely unaware of the big mistake I'm making. But, live and learn, and I hope this helps you guys know how to undo it. We'll get to that here in the next little segment. And yeah, but here I go. I'm going to stick it on there. That's where the scallop die ended in the middle of a scallop, and it was jagged, kind of pointed, so I just trimmed it off. Don't do it, Becky. Don't do it. Oh. Yeah, she did it. Alrighty. She did it. But he's really cute. He's going to fit on there well. And this too shall be fixed. Okay, we're going to jump in. Picked out these papers. They're just cut to fit, and it's just a dry fit to see how it looked. Found this old baby, and he's going to just nestle right down into there and look really cute. Okay, still completely unaware of what's going on here, but I love the little tip in, and this is the gray marble, and I really am glad I picked that up at Hobby Lobby because it just kind of gives a break to the eye with all the cute patterns, and the gray is just really good with pink. That's always been a good color combo. So yeah, I like that very much, and it's non-directional. So there's one. That's the little doodled paper. I thought that was so cute. I love to doodle. So yeah, I'm going to stick that one down. I'm going to leave the pink flaps pink because I think, again, that solid color gives the eye a little break. And also it gives you a place for a tip in, to add in a poem, a quote, a little piece of clip art, a sticker, a pocket, a whatnot, a something, anything. So here is my last piece of paper, I believe. This is another non-directional paper that can stay where it's at, the little dot. But I'm about to clean things up here and flip over and see what happened. But yeah, it's going to get even cuter. So there's that. Yeah, it's about time to put a cake in the oven. That's what you do when you're frustrated, right? All right, let's turn her over and see. Yeah, it's crooked. Vertical trees must be vertical. There they are. Yeah. Okay, there's my little Cricut spatula that I was going to use, but then I realized, the little flap is under the gray. So I'm going to take the knife and the ruler and go at it. Now this is other layers underneath here. So again, fast forwarded, and you can see it's a little bit slow. I'm going very, very lightly. Very, very light. That thing, I think I was afraid to tug too much. It took several passes. And then I eventually had to get that spatula out and use it too. I still don't really know, but I got it up without making too much of a mess. I just kept putting the spatula under there and digging it out. The flap should still be under the gray, and I know it is, but it seemed, I don't know, but it eventually came loose. You just have to keep at it. And then I took that fingernail file and went to it. It is what it is. I just kept messing with it. That's a little bit of the residual glue that was left behind. But I'm going to find a way to fix that too. All right, so this guy needs a little doctoring. He took a little, clean up. He's a little battle weary. So I'm going to trim off his side because that took a beating. And he's getting small here, but I'm determined to make him a tip in. So that was in the stash, and I thought, that would work. I'll just create one. So I grabbed another longer piece of paper, just scored a 1/2 inch, folded it. Well, I think I cut off that outside edge, because this doesn't need to be as wide as it was. So just cut it to about 1 inch overall. But anyway, just folding that, and then going to measure it up against, look at that messy desk. This thing's got crazy here. Measured that as to where to cut the length of it. So I'm just going to cut it in put it on there. I don't know why I was going to do it with a ruler. Easy to snip with the scissors. Right, so I just angle cutted it, tried to get it the right direction, Becky. Okay, so I'm deciding to put that on, and then I'm thinking, no, he just felt very thin. It's 65-pound pink cardstock, and it just felt like it had taken a beating. So I decided to stiffen it up a little bit with a little bit of paper. So I decided to go with the gray. And so I'm trying to decide, I think I put it in the end, I measured it just above and beyond the little scallops instead of covering those up. Here I've pulled out my cardboard trimmer. I'm not sure if yet I have put in a new blade, but I do eventually put in a new blade because it was starting to tear up my paper. But that's much easier to use than that big guillotine thing. All right, glue on the back of that. I'm going to stick that down to the gray and then just trim the gray off. I figured that was just as good a way to go to it. No, putting the hinge on there first. I forgot. Yeah, that's going to go on and be sandwiched between the gray and the pink. I was surprised how well my brain was thinking because this was a lot. But yeah, got that sandwiched in there so you won't see the other side of the flap, which was kind of nice. So I'm just going to trim that off, and that gives the whole thing a little bit more strength because it was seeming a little weak. All right, and that edge still just didn't seem quite right. So, a little nip and a little tuck. You'll eventually get things straight. You just have to work with it. But you can see I'm out of frame, and that happened a lot. And I eventually just started decorating the album without video. Okay, I'll explain that in a minute. Let's put a magnet on here. Doing it the easiest way I know how. Just taking off the flap, the little adhesive thingy there. Stick it to the back of the tip end, put the other magnet on top, take off the flap, down it goes. We will figure out how to cover these magnets on the back side. Okay, it's the back side. And I went to my computer and I created this little thingy. I found the poem on Pinterest and the clip art on just Google clip art. But I decided, I had it folded there and scored. I was thinking about a tip in, and then I decided, no, pull out a die and give it a ruffled edge. So I have to cut off the flap to get that done. Probably didn't have to, but I wouldn't have fit through my die cutter with it on there anyway. So you can see I easily put this on here. I get this figured out. No brainer. Turn it around, flip it on there. Yeah, I'm not scared. Cut it out. In another minute, you're going to worry about me because I get all confused. But anyway, there it is. I looked at it. I liked it. And then I thought, no. So I cut the scallop off. And I decided to border it with the pink. Just mat it with pink. And then I'm going to trim that down. And I'm going to mat it on the gray dot. And I think that overwhelmingly makes it a lot better. It gives it more strength. It's more sturdy. And yeah, it was just a lot going on late night, but there it goes. And I kept it down a little bit from the top and the bottom because I want to run that scallop across the top. I'm trimming off the side, and here I'm going to be goofy. Isn't it cute? And I'm trying to think of which direction does this go? And this time I don't know. But I saw that scrap of white laying up there. Yeah. Just grabbed it, decided to run it through, double check myself. I guess it was just late at night. I don't know. I did work till 12:30, but tested it on that, saw it worked. Okay, put it back in, cut it right. Crazy. It's the cutest little die. I love that die. So delicate. All right, that worn out piece of tape. My goodness. All right, going to run that through and turn it around and cut out the ruffle on the bottom. So cute, just adds a lot of character. So I hope you can find the die. This one's not available anymore, I don't think. But it's a lot of fun to go to Amazon and just shop dies. So I hope you can find something. Okay, going to pull that off and happy with it now. I'm going to go back and think about where it's going to go. And it's going to go on this flap after I get my stuff put away. There we go. But as I'm looking at it, I see that top edge. That's where the glue was, and that piece of paper won't cover it. And so that edge, yeah, we have to face that. Okay, there's that edge. Yeah, that's where the tip in, where I've forced that off of there. So I decided to take some of the gray dot and just act like it's washi tape, sort of, and just cover it up. I went all the way across the top of the pink. And I went edge to edge. And it looks a little funny. You can see that pink strip of the flap. But when you close it, it looks better. So I went all the way across. So I decided that looked pretty good. Would it look good on the bottom? There's a little strip. And I decided yes. So I cut another inch strip. And I'm going to cut that to length. And we are getting there. This is all part of the fixing the problem. But you know what? It did turn out cuter in the end. So, yeah. So what a mess. What a mess. This was a lot of mess. But anyway, bear with me. We're going to get this fixed and it's going to turn out cute. So putting that on the bottom, again, all the way from one end to the other. And it looks cute when you close it. So I'm gonna be satisfied with that for now. And so now we're gonna. This is a little piece of ribbon that I cut, just white satin ribbon. Pulled out my Fabri-Tac, which is good for fabric. Trying to get it out of the bottle, and I'm just gonna glue the two ends together. It was probably maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches long. I just want a pull tab for underneath the old baby because it's, I don't know, it just seemed to be. It needed it. That's all I can say is it needed it. So a little more Fabri-Tac if I can get it out. That stuff is not easy to get out, but it is great. Works for paper and fabric. So I'm going to stick that on there, kind of measuring where I think that should go. Hold that down for a second. And I think it's cute. Plus it works. There I was trying to, it looked kind of like it was dented to me. I think the glue got up a little higher than I wanted to. But you know what? Messed with it. Gonna go with it. It is what it is. But it helps to open that better. Okay, I decided to take pink cardstock and cover up the gray cardstock. I know this is a lot of covering. But it does 3 things. It covers up the magnet, covers up our edge of the ribbon, and it makes the whole thing seem like one intentional thought. Which I really appreciate. All right, it looks like we're going to think about covering the inside, but I switch gears and I go to the trees. I hope there's footage I'm sure there is. I went back and forth a lot. But I just decided to cut out the deer. I wanted to put a deer in the woods. The little deer are the cutest. I just love them. I love all little critters. And the die cuts are really cute and they're easy to cut around. So I just decided I thought he looked silly he was standing in front of the flowers. If he'd been in the flowers, it would have been different. So I cut the flowers away from him and he turns out just fine. And I'm going to find another die cut and attach both of those down. But yeah, turned out pretty cute. There's the other die cut. And so I laid them down together where I liked them, and I'm going to take a little glue, holding them as one, and stick it down in there. Try to glue them and make them one. Kind of wiggle him into just the right position. And I'm going to look at it, make sure. A little more glue. And there they are. So, yeah, pretty cute. Just forget that the flower's bigger than the deer's head. This is all whimsical and for imagination, right? Okay, So it did turn out pretty cute, and you need a critter in the woods, and so now we have one. And I like it. All right, now we're going to turn attention back to that magnet. Going to pull up the die cutter. A little crazy editing here, I'm sorry. But I did this in two different times, and you didn't need to see it all. So what ended up happening is I found a poem about flowers and little girls, and I cut it out, but then I decided to do the pink layer and cut the poem smaller, see, and mat it on the pink. So I didn't get all that edited beautifully, but there's the thought nonetheless. I cannot remember what the poem says, flowers or something, I don't know. Anyway, turned out pretty cute. I'm going to stick that on top of that flower there. Got all my stuff put away again. I need that die cutter on a rolling cart. That'd be nice. Roll it in. Anyway, that's what's going to go on the magnet. And we're going to glue the two together. And we are making hay. Although it's really dark outside. But I'm going to put that down on the magnet. Or over to the corner as much as I can. Save room for a picture. But yeah, cute. Ready to cover up the last of the sins. Make everything right. So I pulled out the deer paper and I'm just going to cover up the doodle lines with it. This whole process of fixing what was wrong made the video longer, but I hope it helps some of you because truly, if you do this long enough, at some point you're going to work on your page sideways. And it's just good for everybody to know that you just don't stop. You keep going. And, it turns out cuter in the end, and that's my experience with most things that I've done wrong and had to fix. So I don't know, but it works out. So just never give up. All right, I'm cleaning my desk a little more because it was just a process. But that's going to fit, and that's going to wipe away everything. And we will be back square. It's going to put that down. Yes, I'm right side up. Look at me checking. Yeah, once bitten. Or once bitten in the last week, huh? I seem to do this a little bit more than I should. But that's okay. I'll be that girl. Alrighty, so it's turning out really cute. I'm sorry for the glare. I have got to I've got to redo my tables and move things out to reduce the glare. But pulled out the little girl. That's not where she belongs. I'm going to rethink about her. But I'm going to jump ahead. And that's what I do. And cover the 12th month with the vellum. Now, this is not vellum, if you didn't know. This is just good old tracing paper. I think my vellum is with my ruler. I cannot find it either. And I truly have torn up my craft room looking for these things. But I don't know. But the tracing paper is actually going to work. If I had one thing to do differently, I would have cut those margins in a little closer. Causes a little bit of problem, but as in all things, we're going to work through it. And I really was feeling lousy. I did not want to use tracing paper, but it kind of worked. I tested out here. I pulled out a white die cut, something very light to see. Can you see it? And yeah, you can see it. So maybe it's not the end of the world. Okay. So I was pulling out my die and both of them and trying to find a paper that would coordinate with the 11th month. I haven't put that 11th month bubble on there yet. I decided to go with the deer. And I end up marking this and cutting it just to fit the page. And then I had a heck of a time cutting the center out of it. When I've done this before, I did a full page, a vellum full page with a cloud surround. It was so cute. Almost felt like ripping that page out and changing it, but figured, you know what, go on and see if you can't learn something new. I've never tried to make a die fit towards another. It's very hard to get it spaced correctly. It just was. So you'll see me now paperclip that page on so that it stays. I'm just thinking, how's the best way? So I put the die on there, I'm pushing it in, I'm trying to feel for where did they cut that out? And it just was, I decided in the end, just cut it out. We'll fix it. So if anybody knows a foolproof way, I guess doing the pages together before you ever glue on anything is the only way to get it perfect. But anyway, I cut it out. It's not going to be quite right. But then again, it's going to get cuter for having this problem, right? So, live and learn, right? Live and learn. Much for joining me at Bunny Hollow Crafts. We will get back to the decorating soon. And here is a picture of my father and me. I was so blessed to be able to see him and take him for a ride in my new car. God bless you guys. Isn't he a sweetie?